All right, 1 minute. Okay. Give me 1 minute, guys. Get that straightened out. Sorry about that, guys. YouTube wasn't letting me on. It kept saying couldn't connect. Hold on just a second. Let me get the chat up here so I can see everybody. 27, hello. Rip Rider, what's going on? Jeff's Diner, Mr. Buttermaker, Frank M. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for being here. Open some packs of Garbage Pail Kids. No, not those packs. Great job on the La Bamba filming location. Thank you so much. For those of you that might not have seen it yet, I just posted the La Bamba filming locations yesterday. Johnny G, hello, how you doing? Nate Hall, what's going on? Johnny says, rest in peace, Tawny Katane. Yes, she just passed, I think, yesterday. Every 80s movie that Hollywood has remade sucked. Yeah, for the most part, I'd agree with that. Gord Chapman, hello. Oh, from Canada, thank you so much for being here. Frank M says La Bamba was excellent. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to try my best this time to pay attention to the questions. I know last time there was so much going on and I missed a lot of people's questions. This time I'm going to try and pay attention to everybody. Motley Crew, what's up, man? Great videos. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, La Bamba, I just posted it yesterday, and I think it's less than 24 hours. It's almost at 5,000 views, so that's awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. I was really happy with that one. That was a lot of fun to put together. Brandon, hello. Thank you for being here. Tommy Sands, thank you. I would love to know why Less Than Zero has not been released on Blu-ray. That's a good question. I'd like to know why a lot of stuff not only hasn't been released on Blu-ray, but hasn't been released on DVD in general. Just 27 here from Australia. Thank you so much. Is the movie Speed in the works? All I'll say is not yet. I got a lot of stuff that I'm working on. That's not it's not on the top of the list just yet. Scott Clay, La Bamba and Purple Rain videos were excellent. Thank you so much. Both of those were a lot of fun to make. A ton of fun. Mookie Wilson says, man, I remember what those new Garbage Pail Kid packs smelled like. Yeah, me too. Can remember exactly what it smelled like opening them up, and that gum. You could smell the gum automatic. And the packs were brand new, but the gum was already hard as a rock. You could break it right on a hard surface, but it was so good. Have you seen the new apartment buildings where the mall used to be on Oxnard and Laurel Canyon? No, I haven't. Maybe I will check that out for the next Valley video, which I'm going to have to be going out to film stuff for the next Valley video probably next week. So maybe I'll go check that out, even though I already have a ton of stuff to do for that video. How about a Fright Night filming location video? Yeah, definitely. Fright Night is one of my favorite scary movies, and not too scary, but definitely one of my favorites. I have it's my second favorite vampire movie, right next to The Lost Boys, which of course I'll be doing as well. Hello from Springfield. Hello, thank you so much for being here. You and Days with Jordan the Lion do a video together. Both you guys are great. Thank you so much. I don't know. I know who Jordan the Lion is. I don't know if he knows who I am. I actually saw him when I was doing the Pretty in Pink filming locations, and I was at the Biltmore Hotel. Right as I finished, I went around the block, and as I was leaving, he was out there taking pictures of the hotel, and I yelled out, said hello to him. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Who knows what the future holds? Just discovered your channel last week when I came across the Blood in Blood Out location. I'm now subbed and been on a movie location. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed the Blood in Blood Out one. That one was a lot of work, but I'm so happy with the way it came out. It was so much fun. Do you have plans for doing filming locations for To Live and Die in LA? It's my favorite movie. I wasn't. It wasn't originally at the top of my list, but I've actually had quite a few people ask about that one, so it's probably going to move up the list um, somewhat fast. So I wouldn't say it's going to be, one of the next few that I do, but I'm sure it's going to get done. Did you ever go to any gigs at the Reseda Theater? No. If you're talking about the Reseda movie theater, I can never remember the Reseda movie theater being open. Although it was open in my lifetime, but I can just always remember it being boarded up. Can't wait for Lost Boys. Yeah, me too. Once I can get back up to Santa Cruz. My family and I usually we go to Santa Cruz every summer. Every time we're there, we go check out all the Lost Boys locations, even though we've seen them a million times. So definitely going to be doing Lost Boys. Nate Hall asks if I have seen and if I'm a fan of Born in East LA. Absolutely. Seen that movie probably, I don't know, over 100 times. My brother and I used to watch that constantly when we were kids. And yes, absolutely, I'll be doing a filming location for it. I have not been to the Dude, Where's My Car filming locations. Do I remember Moongate Chinese restaurant on Van Nuys? No, I don't remember that one. When was that around? I didn't really, as a small kid, I didn't really go to that side of the valley too much. Not till I was a little bit older. Thank you for the top 40 countdowns. Keep them coming. Yeah, you're welcome. I think I only have maybe one more to upload. Hopefully, I'll get more, though, in the near future. Love the short videos of the mini trucks. There'll definitely be more of those in the near future. Are you inspired by any other movie location YouTubers? Yes and no. I mean, my inspiration for this just comes. I've been interested in movie locations pretty much my entire life. This is something I've always been interested in. But yeah, there's definitely a couple of different YouTubers that I watch every once in a while. And sorry, kicking cords down here. Adam the Woo does a lot of great movie location videos. There's a few different people that do good movie filming location videos. So I wouldn't say that I'm inspired by them in the way that they were the inspiration to make my channel, but they do make fun videos that are good to watch. So. All right, I'm going to go back up because I know I missed a couple. How about locations for Vida Loca? I'm actually planning to do that one, and the guy who painted my Suzuki Samurai is the guy who did the mural on the truck for Mi Vida Loca, and he actually right now is finishing. They're doing a replica of that truck, and it looks exactly like the one from the movie. So hopefully I can make it over there and get some footage of the truck while it's still at his shop. What were your favorite rock bands of the 80s? It's so hard for me to talk about favorite bands from the 80s because I just love so much. In the 80s, I probably didn't listen to a lot of like what you would say 80s rock. I was listening to more either like top 40 stuff or I was really into rap in the 80s. You know, I was as a kid I was listening to NWA and Eric B and Rakim and Boogie Down Productions. But then I loved everything that was on MTV. You know, whether it was Metallica, Guns N' Roses. Can't wait for Lost Boys. Yeah, me too. Oh, Tommy Sand says he traveled to Vermont and saw the house used in Funny Farm. The owners invited me onto the property. Wow, that's awesome. I would love to go do the filming locations for Funny Farm. That's such a great movie. Sorry, my thing's kind of lagging here. I'm trying to catch up with you guys. Decline of civilization and suburbia locations. I actually started. I shouldn't be telling you this because I always say I'm never going to give away what videos I'm doing. Um, but I actually started suburbia a little while back, and then some stuff came up that put it on pause. But suburbia is coming. That I can say for sure. Just can't tell you when. Watching Chips, great time capsule for LA in the 70s and 80s. Chips is one of my favorite 80s shows. I love it so much. And every time we travel, the 210 and the 2, I can't, the Chips theme song automatically goes off in my head because there was a lot filmed on the 2 and the 210. Toy Hunter Adventures. If you ever need shots up in NorCal, San Francisco, let me know. I'll be happy to help out. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Um, actually, I think you left me a message about that. I didn't get back to you yet, but yeah, I really appreciate it. Hopefully, we usually go up to NorCal quite often, so hopefully we'll start traveling again soon, and I'll be able to get all the shots myself. But I really appreciate that. There's quite a few things that I'm waiting to do right now because they're up in NorCal. So Rip Rider says Danny D. Absolutely, you're right. I'm sorry, I should have called him by name, but the person who painted my Suzuki Samurai, who did the truck from Mi Vida Loca, is the world famous Danny D. You guys can Google him, look him up on Instagram. Um, Amazing painter. So Lori O'Quinn, hello. I love your channel. Appreciate what you do. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. I love, just when you guys show the appreciation for the videos. It really makes it all worth it. LaShawn96, La Bamba video was dope. Thank you so much. Don Lovato, did you listen to De La Soul and Schoolie D? Absolutely. Seen De La Soul in concert a couple of times. Never seen Schoolie D, but yeah, absolutely. Are you going to swap a rotary into your Samurai eventually? Six Samurai, thank you so much. Probably not. I would be happy just swapping a tracker engine in it just so it would drive like a regular car. I don't need a rotary though. I don't, yeah, I don't need to drive fast in that car. Sorry, my thing reset. Have you done or plan to do Terminator locations? I have not done Terminator yet, but I definitely will be doing Terminator. Suburbia, yes, it's coming. Someone else asked for Terminator. Yes, Terminator's coming. Do you watch the Goldbergs? Absolutely. My family, my whole family, my wife and son and I, we all watch the Goldbergs. Love that show. I've got a friend that works at Sony, and before the pandemic, every once in a while he would sneak us in to Sony, and we would just walk around where they filmed the Goldbergs and catch some of the cast coming in and out. So yeah, we love that show. Did you ever have any of the WWF wrestling figures? Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant? Yes, absolutely. I can't remember which ones I had. I know my son's got a couple of the thumb wrestlers, and he actually has the exact same ones I have Hulk that I had as a kid, Hulk Hogan and the Iron Sheik. So I know I had those, but I had some of the regular ones too. Is Howard the Duck filmed in L.A.? I don't know. That's a good question. Mr. Buttermaker, super chat. Thank you so much for the donation. A $20 donation for Mr. Buttermaker. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Keep up the great work. Love the channel. Thank you. Yeah, just a few people were asking last time about Super Chat, and I didn't know what it was, but I researched it. I had to have my 11-year-old son explain it to me. So it's turned on now, so if anybody wants to Super Chat, it's there. So again, thank you so much, Mr. Buttermaker. I really, really appreciate that. David Terry, your SFV video talks about the Johns on Sherman Way. I used to work at the seafood counter when it was Vaughn's. This would have been 1986. Also, the Country Club used to be a Save-On drugstore. Yeah, I think in my video I showed a picture of the Country Club when it was Save-Ons. Did I not? I may not have, but I know that I knew that was definitely before my time. And when that was still a Vons, I used to go there every once in a while with friends but this was in the 90s. There was a Panda Express in that Vons, and I don't know why we chose to go to that Panda Express, but we did. Any plans for Loverboy? Absolutely. Love that movie so much. That one is high on the list, so... What were your favorite 80s sitcoms? Did you watch Dallas? I did not watch Dallas. I didn't watch... Well, I was going to say I didn't watch anything in the 80s that would have been considered a soap opera, but that's not really true because my mom was really into soap operas. So she watched Knots Landing every week, and she watched Days of Our Lives every day. So I guess I watched those, but not really. I couldn't tell you anything about the shows. My favorite 80s sitcoms... God, there were so many. As a kid, obviously, I mostly watched cartoons, and so my favorites were like He-Man, Inspector Gadget, Muppet Babies, Dennis the Menace, and then I loved Different Strokes, Silver Spoons, Soap. God, yeah, there were just so many. I'm trying to think of ones that I loved as a kid versus that I love now. There are sometimes when I'm on the spot, I can't think of things. So throw some of your favorite 80s sitcoms at me, and I'll tell you if I loved it as a kid or not. Felipe Lopez, what's up, brother? Love your channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I recognize you from the comments. I recognize a lot of you from the comments. Do you know Chandler Elementary School? No, I know Chandler Street in the Valley. I don't know that elementary school in particular. Rad was better than BMX Bandits, yes or no? So, I've actually never seen BMX Bandits. Some people are probably going to be upset about that, but I know it. I know of it. Never seen it. Definitely seen Rad. Love Rad. So I can't speak on which was better. Have you done filming locations for the movie Fletch? Not yet. But Fletch is one of my favorites. And Fletch Lives. I know a lot of people don't like part 2, but I do. I was 10 years ahead of you. They built the Panda Express after I left. Yeah, I would assume the Panda Express was later. It was right in the back, kind of like um, where like the meat counters and stuff would be. Did you have a Commodore 64? I did not. I had an Atari and then a Nintendo. And then I think later on in the 90s, my uncle gave us his Sega Saturn because he didn't like it. Hello, love your content. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Um, Evie Out of This World. I love Out of This World. That was definitely one that I watched a lot. William Zoom, what's up, Kurt? Hey, what's going on? Thank you so much for being here. Bobby's World. Yeah, definitely watched that cartoon. That was a little later, but definitely watched it. Have you ever been to the hot dog stand on the corner of Arleta and Van Nuys? They closed a few years ago. Amazing food. I don't believe so. Not ringing a bell. David Terry asked, "Do you remember what CDs cost when they first came out?" No. Well, you know what? I never bought a CD when they first came out. My family was always really behind. Like we got a microwave 15 years after everyone else had one. We got DVDs 15 years after everyone. Uh, my mom was the first one to get a CD player, and I wasn't allowed to touch it. And that wasn't until the mid to late 90s. So, and I didn't get a CD player until a little while after that. So, yeah, I have no idea. But I don't even remember what cassette tapes cost. That was so long ago. Soap was a great show. It absolutely was. I own the. My wife bought me the complete set, and we rewatched it a couple of years ago. It completely held up. Such a great show. Loved Growing Pains. Who's the Boss and Webster? Yep, all three of those. JJ says, I've been to the Warner Brothers lot many times. Didn't know that Purple Rain cover was shot there until you mentioned it. Blew my mind. Yeah, me too. I think we've been, I think, 3 or 4 times, and I think that was our first time that we found it out, but had no idea. It was total surprise to us, and an amazing surprise. J Lo says Fresh Prince. I was a big fan of Fresh Prince, the rapper and the TV show. Of course, big fan of him as a rapper first. When he came out with Parents Just Don't Understand, my dad was actually the one that introduced me to that. He heard it on K Day, the radio station that we used to have here in LA, and went and bought the cassette tape for me and my brother, and just loved it. And then yeah, when the show came out, watched it. Watched every new episode as it came on. Growing Pains, Mr. Belvedere, Family Ties, Who's the Boss. Love all of those. Mr. Belvedere was kind of, I got into it a little late. I don't know, when it first was on, I didn't get it, and I thought it was like a grown up show. But then a little later on, I realized it was a good show. Really quick, I still got to catch up on a lot of these, but I want to say really quick, I want to say thank you to my brand new Patreons. I got a few new Patreons recently. I want to say thank you to Lorio711, Oliver Young, and Richie Rich. Thank you guys so much for supporting me on Patreon. Appreciate it so much. If anyone else wants to support me, Patreon/80s Life. Thank you guys. I'm a graduate of Cleveland High School in Reseda, 1973. I had a lot of friends that went to Cleveland. Sorry, this whole thing just reset. I'm playing Road Rash on Sega Genesis right now. Awesome. La Bamba vlog was great. Thank you so much. Night Flight. Yeah. I never watched Night Flight back in the day, but I'm familiar with it now. There's a lot of cool stuff on Night Flight. I think it was I think it was because my parents had cable. Just watched MTV. You plan on doing Pee-wee's Big Adventure? I used to live in North Hollywood, not too far from Magnolia Park, where they filmed the BMX scene. 150% I plan on doing Pee-wee's Big Adventure. One of my favorite movies. I am a huge, huge, huge Pee Wee Herman fan. So I've just been waiting because there's a couple of things. I don't want to give anything away, but there's a couple of things that I want. I want to do that one justice, so I'm kind of having to wait for some stuff before I can do that one. David Terry says, by the way, your San Fernando Valley series is exceptional. Any Valley Historical Society would be proud to display your work in its archives. Wow. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I think, as I've explained before, but for anyone who doesn't know, I do a monthly series about my memories of the San Fernando Valley, and it's really just about what I remember from growing up in the San Fernando Valley my whole life. And this really just came about because just all the time, whenever we have nothing to do, we go driving around the valley, and I make my wife and son listen to hours of my stories, out like, oh, hey, this happened here and that happened there. And my wife finally said, you got to do a video series on that. And I was like, nobody wants to hear that. And she kind of pushed me, and a lot of people like it. And I didn't think anybody would care. A lot of people seem to care. So thank you so much. Greetings from Hawaii. Hello. Thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you for being here. David Terry, CDs cost $16.99 when they first came out. Okay. Well, there we go. Which I guess is pretty expensive for back then. And when they first came out, they would have been in the long box. Correct? Am I correct on that? Facts of Life. Yeah, I love Facts of Life. For some reason, I actually like the later Facts of Life when they have the store. I think because the store looks really 80s. Oh, here we go. CDs came in the long cardboard box. They were $17 to $18. Yeah. I actually went looking for some of the long boxes recently just to collect them, and man, they are expensive now. Would love to see a video on more of the punk rock heavy metal venues from the 80s, 90s. Hello from Sydney, Australia. Hello, thank you so much for being here. I do plan on doing a video eventually on just music venues that I either remember or that I played at. Not just I've shown a lot of the ones in the Valley, but all the ones just around the LA area in general, or Southern California. So I'm sure I'm going to miss a lot because there was a lot of venues that I never went to or didn't know about, but there's still a lot. So yeah, I plan on showing something like that. What was your favorite Saturday morning cartoon? Yeah, that's so hard to answer. There's no way I can answer. There's just so many. And actually, I can't even remember what was on Saturday mornings and what I just watched on a regular day-to-day basis. Cassettes were $10. Some were cheaper. Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. Do you remember the Lucky's Pioneer Chicken? I'm going to scoot this back a little bit. Do you remember the Lucky's Pioneer Chicken and Fluky's all in the same shopping plaza on the corner of Corbin and Parthenia? I'm trying to picture that. Oh, Corbin and Parthenia. Okay, I know exactly where that is. But I don't remember the Lucky's and Pioneer Chicken. That's right down the street from where the Kmart was and where Target is now. Um, but yeah, I don't remember the Lucky's. David Terry says so CDs would cost $41 in today's dollars. Man, imagine that. 1508 K Day, absolutely. That was where we first that was the only place we could listen to rap back then in LA. There was no, I mean, obviously besides cassette tapes, but they weren't really on MTV yet. There was no radio stations. Power 106 wasn't playing rap, so K Day on AM, that was the only place. Yeah, there you corrected yourself. 1580 K Day. I knew 1508 didn't sound right. 1580 K Day. Mark Noah letting everyone know for those who miss K Rock in the 80s in LA, they have an HD channel that plays 80s, and it's absolutely excellent. They play so much good stuff on the K Rock 2. If you have an HD radio, if you don't have an HD radio, you can download an app on your phone. That's what I do. And just look for K Rock 2, and it's all 80s K Rock. They play a lot of really obscure stuff. Great station. 7-Eleven, there you are. She says you're very welcome. Thank you again. William Zoom says, I love HD radio, lots of hidden gems. Yes. I wish HD radio, it didn't really seem to catch on. Like I thought all car radios were going to have the HD radio feature by now because there's so many good stations. But did you want a waterbed in the 80s? I don't know if this is going to sound I don't want to sound like privileged because but yeah, I actually had a waterbed, and it was just because for some reason my family, not my immediate family, but like grandparents and stuff, they were really into them, and they gave one to my parents, and then um, someone like didn't want theirs anymore, and it got passed down onto me, and yeah, so I was actually a kid with a for a short period of time. Kind of weird. I definitely wouldn't want one now, but I thought it was really awesome back then. Mark says growing up in the early to mid 80s was the best. I'll say growing up in the mid to late 80s was the best just because I don't remember the early 80s. Would you do some kind of wonderful location? Yeah, on the list. I love Gyromite on Nintendo. Um, I had the robot, and I don't know what happened to him. The Gyromite robot, and I don't know what happened to it. E.G. Daily from the Pee Wee movie was also in Valley Girl. Yep, absolutely. I actually in my Valley Girl video, I refer to her as Dottie, and someone got angry and commented saying her name wasn't Dottie. I thought that most I thought that people would just get that I was referencing her in Pee Wee's Big Adventure. E.G. Daily was in a lot of stuff. Yep, she was also in Better Off Dead. Small cameos singing in Better Off Dead. I'd love to visit the Cabazon dinosaurs. They're not as cool anymore because they fenced it off. You got to pay to get in. They have this exhibit, and they turned one of them into a gift shop. So I mean, it's still cool to go see. And then the diner has been torn down. I want to say a couple of years ago. So I've been there I've been there when the diner was around. I never ate at the diner, but I went inside and looked around. And I've been there when the diner was abandoned. And I've been there since the diner's been torn down. It's a real bummer. Oh, someone says Night Flight is on Pluto TV, and I didn't know that. I know that they have a paid service, but I didn't know they were on Pluto, so I'll have to check. Have to check that out. Your background makes me fiend for bubble tape. Go get some. They still sell it, luckily. Oh, Joe says they also filmed the Tears for Fears Everybody Rules the World near the dinosaurs. You know what? I didn't know that. I'm going to have to go back and watch that video. Did you like the show Small Wonder? Absolutely. Um, I know I did a video where I posted some of our Halloween costumes, and some years back, my wife dressed up as Vicky the Robot from Small Wonder. Love that show. Remember as a kid, my brother played Little League, and one of the kids on his Little League team had a cameo, just like a really small part on Small Wonder, and I was so jealous. I thought that was the coolest thing. Um, I know a lot of people don't like that show because of how cheesy and bad like the effects are, but that's what makes it cool. And maybe that's probably not what they were going for, but it doesn't matter. It works. Whenever you can tell whenever something cool is about to happen because you can tell that all of a sudden she's not really there. It's kind of like a green screen, and that's when all of a sudden she'll lift up a couch or her head will start spinning around. It's so great, and the acting is terrible, but that's what makes the show great. William Zoom asked, "Is Pluto TV still glitchy?" Not when I watch it. It's actually really good now. The memories videos are great. Keep them coming. I've never been to California, but this is the best channel for historical footage of our generation. Thank you so much. That's such a nice thing to say. I really appreciate it. Yeah, and I'm gonna keep the memory videos going for as long as I can remember stuff, which I don't know how much longer that'll be. Rip Rider says, "I'm digging Cobra Kai." Me too. Great series. Hey, what's up, brother? Really digging the show. What's going on? I know who that is, but I don't know if you want me to say your real name, but what's up, buddy? Thank you for being here. Have you ever done the 90210 high school? I have not. That's Torrance High School. I have not done that yet. I know it well though. Used to live in Torrance. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the silence. My on my end, it keeps resetting, and I'm missing a lot of your guys' stuff. And then for some reason, it's holding comments for review to have me see if they're inappropriate, and they're not even close to being inappropriate comments. So kind of weird. I like the '80s movies that were three short movies in one: Cat's Eye, Creepshow, Nightmares, Twilight Zone, Tales from the Dark Side. Those were all great movies. Cat's Eye, I don't think I've watched since the '80s. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that one. Pee Wee Herman was a favorite. Love Pee Wee Herman so much. What was your favorite venue to play while in a band? I don't know. We played the Cobalt Cafe in the Valley all the time just because it was nearby and it was easy to play. I always really liked playing the bigger venues like the Whiskey and the Roxy and the Showcase Theater in Corona. Um, and then there was always like smaller like independent places that were really cool to play. Um, Backyard parties were always really fun. Um, Yeah, I'd have to think about that one, but I mean, yeah, those were some of my favorites. A lot of people didn't like playing the bigger venues, but I don't know. I thought it was cool playing those bigger venues. Laserdiscs were trying to replace VHS. Yeah, I've never owned a Laserdisc in my life. Do you think you might do something in Burbank? Yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna do stuff all over the place. I don't know that I would do like a memories of Burbank video just because I didn't grow up in Burbank, so I don't know a ton about Burbank. Um, but I'll definitely be out there doing filming locations. Have you been to Tito's Tacos where they filmed the scene from Gleaming the Cube? Yep, great tacos. Actually, sometimes they're great and sometimes they're not. I think normally they're great, but I've been there a couple of times where they were kind of stale. David Terry says another rabbit hole to check out would be all the former driving locations, which is something I kind of plan on doing. I don't know if I'm going to do a video on all the drive-in locations, but I do want to talk about some of the old drive-ins. I wish I could remember what drive-in movie theater we used to go to, but I was so young that I don't know. But it probably would have been in North Hollywood because that's where we lived at the time. JLo says there are still a few Pioneer chicken stands out there. I think the last one I knew of was in Hollywood, and I don't think it's there anymore. Okay, Lucky's is now an Office Depot. Okay, I know where the Office Depot is, so yeah, I know exactly where that is. Cliff Parker watching from Brazil. Thank you so much for being here. KNAC Heavy Metal Rock. Do I remember KMET? Yes. Never listened to it. I don't think. Um, but yes, I remember KMET. Did you buy tapes or CDs and record it on blank tapes and then return it? Um, no, what we did was just borrow all the tapes from our friends, especially my brother. Every day, bring home cassette tapes. That was how we found out about like all the new rap artists. It's like every day my brother would bring home a new cassette tape, and we would just dub it and then give it back. And then, of course, like everybody, we recorded stuff off the radio. That was where we got a lot of our stuff. I also used to record stuff off MTV. My parents had the stereo, the TV running through the stereo, so it made it good for recording stuff off MTV. I think on some of my old mixtapes, you can hear like the song will end and then it cuts to an MTV commercial or something. David Terry asked, "Do you remember the completely mental misadventures of Ed Grimley?" Yeah, I don't know if I ever watched it, but I definitely remember it. Everybody got a Saturday morning show back then. Ed Grimley, Ernest, Weird Al, Pee Wee, they all had shows or cartoons. Did you ever break the waterbed? No, luckily. Did you ever go to Mikey's Pizza in Panorama City? No, don't remember that one. You know what? I'm sorry. I want to say I think I had two more super chats that I missed. I'm so sorry. I see one up here. I just click on this from Don Julio for $10. Thank you so much. But I think there were two others up there that I missed, and I am so sorry. Tell me in the comments so that I can give you a shout out. Everything's really behind here. Can you do filming locations for Beverly Hills Ninja? Maybe. Miguel Gonzalez, like your videos. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. JLo Miller's Outpost. I missed that store so much. Best Nintendo games: Contra, Operation Wolf, Metroid, and 1941. Loved Contra and Metroid. Played those constantly. Did you read my comment about the Linda Ronstadt encounter at the Palomino Club? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I responded to it. I think so. Sometimes I lose track. But yeah, that was really cool. I don't have any really awesome memories of going to the Palomino. I know I saw the Queen cover band Sheer Heart Attack at the Palomino on like a Wednesday, and the place was dead. Did you ever see Strung Out from Simi Valley during the 90s? Trying to think if they were ever at a show that I went to. I don't think so. Can you please do Last American Virgin Locations? Check. I got you on the list. Do you remember the movie They Live? Hold on. So, if that answers your question, yes, I remember They Live. Love that movie. Breaking movie, one or two locations. Absolutely on the list. Again, it's one that I'm waiting because there's something that I would like to include in the video that I'm waiting on. But 100%, two of my favorite movies. And I've been going to those locations since I was a kid, so I know where most of them are. Your voice is similar to the actor Peter Coyote. It's so funny. I get a lot of people in the videos telling me what my voice sounds like, and a few people have said that my voice that I sound like Norm Macdonald. I've never heard that before. I personally don't hear it. I don't care. It doesn't offend me or anything, but it's just kind of funny to me. Somebody told me your videos are great, but your voice is annoying. Sorry. Have you thought about going to the locations where Thriller was filmed? Yes, actually, I was at the Thriller house a couple of days ago doing a filming location, but not for Thriller. It was for a movie. Hopefully, that video will be up at the end of next week. I hope. But yeah, I'm gonna do the Thriller filming, the filming locations for the Thriller music video eventually as well. Another person asked, "Do you remember They Live?" Yep. Okay. Kuya, I don't know. Did I say your did I say your YouTube right, Kuya? Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate it. Since you lived in Torrance, do you remember the Old Town Mall? Where was the Old Town Mall? I didn't live in Torrance for very long. That was later on. That was after my wife and I got married. Even after we had our son. So, and we only lived there for a short period of time. So, like, I don't have 80s or 90s memories of Torrance. Courtney Starr says, Fred, love your videos, bro. 80s for life. I remember renting a VCR for the weekend as a family. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Ron says, I only have 3 movie posters on my wall: Thrashin', Fright Night, and The Lost Boys. And those are 3 absolutely great movie posters to have. I wish I had any of those posters. Well, actually, I have a small Lost Boys poster over here. I'd love to have a original Thrashing poster. No more Pioneer Chicken in Hollywood. Yeah, I didn't think so. I thought that was gone. Would love to see locations from Fright Night. You got it. It's on the list. Don Julio says a lot of filming in my hometown of San Pedro. Yeah, I've already done quite a few movies that had scenes in San Pedro. I'm sure I'll be back there plenty. Just kind of reading through. I know a lot of you guys are just chatting amongst yourselves in here, which is great. I love that. I love that me doing these live streams kind of just gives you guys a place to chat with each other and talk about the 80s. Mike C says, "Hey, how's it going? What's up, Mike? Thank you for being here. Have you thought about doing a collaboration with other YouTubers?" Yeah. There's a few people that have reached out to me, and it'll happen. So yeah, I'm absolutely I'm up for doing collabs with other people. Pirate Radio. Remember Pirate Radio? I missed that station. Yes, Art, I got your super chat. I think you sent that message before I thanked you, but yes, I got it. Thank you. Thank you so much for the donation. How about parachute pants? I had some and I have some now. So that's how dorky I am. Mike Johnson asked, "Do they still film movies in the San Fernando Valley?" That's a good question. I don't live there anymore, so I don't know, but I'm gonna assume. Oh, actually, you know what? Just this summer, I posted some pictures on my Instagram. They were filming a new movie out there that's set in the 70s. Um, the director of Boogie Nights, it's his new movie. And we saw them multiple days on Ventura Boulevard. I saw them up in Chatsworth by the Cowboy Palace and the Munchbox. And it was really cool because they changed all the buildings to old 70s signs. So, yeah, they still do some filming in the valley. I enjoy watching your videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. I plan on it. I'm going to try my best. Is Moonlight Roller Rink still around? As far as I know, it was still around before the pandemic. I'm pretty sure it's still around. Used to go there. Um, used to go there every once in a while. A lot of movies were filmed at Moonlight and TV shows. Have you checked out the location of Sandy's Burgers? It was in Tough Turf and Better Off Dead. Yes, I've been there. I was actually just by there a couple of weeks ago, or last month when I was doing my Valley video on my way to the Palomino. I passed right by there. It's still around. It's being used as like a storage lot right now, so it's all gated up, and yeah, it's kind of a bummer. You can barely see it, but it's there. I have a feeling it's going to get torn down in the near future. Sad to hear Del Amo Mall got remodeled. My grandparents lived off Sepulveda in Torrance. I spent a lot of time there as a kid. Um, wasn't that the only Chick-fil-A? Yeah, so I think that was the only. I think that was the only Chick-fil-A in the area at the time, from what I've read, from what I've known. Yeah, that was a real bummer when they, like I said in my video, we showed up that day and we saw that they were starting to remodel. We knew right away they were going to be probably gutting the food court, and that was really awful. Sorry, my thing reset again. Having a lot of problems with YouTube today. One Less Path, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate it. Oh wait, you had a message with less than 0 house locations. Okay, you got it. It's on the list. You guys are so awesome with all the donations. Thank you guys so much. Have you considered Mi Vida Loca filming locations? Yes, we talked about that in the beginning of the live stream. I considered it, and I'll say it again really quick. My buddy Danny D, who painted my Suzuki Samurai, he's the one who did the truck from that movie, and he's actually redoing a replica of the truck right now. It's at his shop. OP shorts, yeah, I think I had a couple pairs. I loved my Jimmy Z shorts though. How about members only jackets? I never owned one in the 80s, but I have one now. I love it. It's such a comfortable jacket. How about Miller's Outpost? Missed that store. I think that's where we used to get our TNC surf shirts. All right, another comment that was held for review. Wally George, Wally. I don't know why that was held for review. Um, Used to love the Wally George show. We saw him not too long before he passed away. We were at Disneyland on New Year's Eve, and he walked by us, and he looked, he looked pretty bad. But it was really awesome to see him. We didn't want to bother him or anything. I think he was there with his family. The color and smell of Blockbuster carpet lives in my memory. Yep. Oh, rest in peace, Paul Van Doren. That's right. From Van's Shoes. He just passed away. Sick Dabs, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Thank you for your videos. Sick Dabs says, thank you for your videos. Last American Virgin would really appreciate it. Sorry. Yeah, you got it. It's on the list, and it'll be for you. So thank you so much. Cerritos Mall had a Chick-fil-A in the 70s and 80s. Yep, it's the one that comes out in Valley Girl, and I think that was the only one in California at that time, I believe. Do you like Poison's cover of Rock and Roll All Night better than the Kiss version? I don't even know if I've ever heard Poison's version of that. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of that song. Miller's Outpost. Miller's, man, stumbling all over the place. Miller's Outpost turned into Anchor Blue before they went out of business. Yep, that's correct. That was Miller's Outpost turned into Anchor Blue. And it's funny, at the time I hated Anchor Blue because I just had that 90s vibe, and at the time, even though now I miss the 90s, at the time, I don't know, I just didn't like that style, and so I hated Anchor Blue, and now I miss the 90s and I miss Anchor Blue. You know? Don't know what you got until it's gone, right? Do you remember Little Shop of Horrors? Yep. I don't like that movie quite as much as a lot of people do. It's a good movie though. It's funny. Has some funny parts, but Irvine Lover, thank you so much for the 3.99 super chat. Irvine Lover says nothing says 80s like Dr. Demento. Yeah, you got that right. Listen to Dr. Demento all the time. Was introduced to him by my dad and loved Dr. Demento. I still have a cassette tape of a bunch of Dr. Demento stuff that I recorded off the radio. Got to meet him out at a Weird Al concert. Weird Al was performing at the OC Fair years ago, like maybe like 11, 12 years ago, and he was DJing out front of the concert, and I met him. Really nice guy. Have you ever dated Jenna Jameson? No, can't say that I have. Did you ever watch the TV show Emergency? Yep, absolutely. I loved that show. Um, Emergency. I believe the hospital was UCLA. What is the hospital? It's in Torrance, the General Hospital in Torrance. Poor Man on Loveline on K Rock. Yeah. We saw Poor Man 2 summers ago at a 80s convention. He was walking around wearing this absurd bright suit. I kept meaning to go up and talk to him, and I never did, and I kind of regret it. However, I did talk to Poor Man on Loveline when I was a kid. I did when I was about 13 years old. I called into Loveline and talked to Poor Man, and I have it. I still have it recorded on a cassette tape. I have it, and yeah, my wife told me that I should put it on the channel. Probably it'll never happen. Bruce Lee fan. I just never got into Bruce Lee, but he's awesome. I just never got into him, but Harbor UCLA. Yeah, thank you. You know what I'm talking about. Did you know Prince's Erotic City and Tone Loc's Wild Thing were first on K Rock? I didn't know that. But K Rock used to play a lot of cool stuff. Definitely not anymore. Do you collect vinyl too? Yes and no. And the reason why I say yes and no is I've been a DJ for, I don't know, about 20 years. And I used to DJ nothing but vinyl. I stopped DJing vinyl a short time ago just because I was the one lugging it all to all my gigs and I just couldn't do it anymore. So I still have all of my vinyl from DJing. But the reason why I say yes and no is I have some friends that are vinyl collectors and they're out of control. So I don't consider myself a vinyl collector. I don't go out hunting these super expensive records and, but I do have a lot of vinyl that I love. I would say I'm a lot closer to being a Prince vinyl collector. I try and get any Prince record that I see, I'll go out of my way to get that on vinyl. Top Gun locations. Yes, I've thought about doing that one down in San Diego. I will probably do that eventually. Come to Kansas City so we can talk 80s over barbecue. Maybe one day I'll make it down there. Thank you for the invite. Will, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Do you like Back to the Future? Of course. Who doesn't like Back to the Future? I'm going to go out on a limb and say Back to the Future is one of the best movies ever made. It's in my top 5. And I think it's one of the best movies ever made, not just in the 80s, but period. I'm going to see how many of you agree or disagree with me. I also think that it's one of the few movies that the sequel is almost as good as the original. I'm curious, what was your question on Loveline? You'll find out if my wife ever convinces me to post that tape. I don't know why I'm embarrassed about it. I was a kid, but yeah, I was 13. I don't know why, but I don't know. Rodney on the Rock is true 80s. Rodney's so awesome. I'm so glad that he found a place to go on Sirius XM after K Rock gave him the boot. Vinyl is damn expensive. Yes, it is. Luckily, I bought most of my vinyl when you could still go to places like Amoeba and Aaron's Records and Record Trader and all those places, and they had all the dollar bins, $2 bins, and you could find really awesome 80s records in there for a buck or two. Not anymore. I see some of those 80s records that I got for a couple of bucks, and now they're going for 15, 20, 30, 40. It's ridiculous. Jonas Ness watching you from Russia. Wow, thank you. 5:30 in the morning here right now. Thanks for all of your great content. Wow, thank you so much. I hope you didn't wake up at 5 in the morning just to watch my live stream, but nonetheless, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching my content. That's so cool. Do you have a soft spot for anything John Hughes? Absolutely. There's a few John Hughes movies that I don't have an interest in, but for the most part, anything John Hughes is absolutely amazing. He was he was an absolute genius. Have you been to the new Frankenstein's location? Yeah, we got to go just a couple of times right before everything shut down. I don't know. I kind of liked the old location better. I think I just have to get used to the new location. I didn't know where anything was. So I think once we go a few more times and I figure out where everything was, one of the things that was so exciting about them getting a new location was they said it was going to have a lot better parking and air conditioning. And neither of those were true, at least when we went. Parking was horrible and it was still really hot in there. But like I said, I'm sure once we go a few more times, I'll enjoy it. Did you ever go to Pooh Records in Pasadena? I don't think I ever did make it to Pooh but I'm very familiar with it. Frank says, damn right it is. I'm assuming you're referring to Back to the Future being one of the best movies ever made. Okay, there's a good question. RJ asked top 5 80s movies, and I can actually answer this. So these are just, I'm not saying these are the top 5 best 80s movies. These are my top 5 favorite. You guys have to remember, I like 80s cheese. I like comedies. So these are my top 5 favorite. Not in order. Back to the Future. And I'm going to put Back to the Future and Back to the Future 2 as one movie. Because it's my list and I can do that. So Back to the Future, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, License to Drive, Can't Buy Me Love, and National Lampoon's Vacation. So those are my 5. Back to the Future, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, License to Drive, Can't Buy Me Love, and National Lampoon's Vacation. That actually kind of is in order, going from 5 to 1. Rodney and Richard Blade, both on Sirius Radio. That's right. And you know what's funny? I just the other day was going through old photos and I found my autograph that I got from Richard Blade. I think it says 93 on there. It says to Kurt, thanks for K Rockin', Richard Blade 93. I've saved it all these years. Yes, because of Gray's Almanac. Future is for sure one of the best. Jeff Steiner says Back to the Future is amazing. You got that right. I just really think, I mean, it's a great 80s movie, but it's just such a great movie. The story, the acting, just everything about that movie is so great. 2 cheesy 80s movies, Beat Street and Breakin'. Love them both so much. Mike Johnson says, I agree, Back to the Future was the best. Frank M says, if Back to the Future is on, I'll watch it. Yep, you have to. Did you ever join a tagging crew or a gang? LA in the 80s, it was particular a rite of passage. Um, Definitely never joined a gang. I never joined a tagging crew either, but tagging was so big at that time that, I'll admit it, definitely. I'd say probably a lot of kids did. Me and a few of my friends, like, we thought we were taggers, but we never actually went out and did that stuff. We were too scared to actually do it. Tagging on plywood in the backyard or something. But yeah, every kid in the 80s at that time had some kind of an interest in that, I think. Would you ever come to Australia for a holiday? I would love to come to Australia, except for two things. I don't fly. I've never flown, and um, I'm scared of the creatures that you guys have in Australia. I've seen some pictures of those gigantic spiders. So, but other than that, it looks like an absolutely beautiful place, and I would love to go there. You should do American Me on the list. Love American Me. Redondo Beach Pier Fun Factory, it closed down right before COVID. Did it finally close down? I know that it was gonna close down, like in the next couple of years. Um, I used to like going to that place, but also at the same time I didn't, because nothing ever worked and it would just eat all my quarters. You should go to old skate spots in LA. Paul Jordan says I should go to old skate spots in LA. So I was thinking about doing one of my valley videos, kind of just showing some of the spots I like to skate around the valley. And then I'd like to eventually do some videos on some of the old Pal Peralta skate videos. So we'll see. It's something that I have been thinking about. Frank says I agree with that list. Thank you. Johnny says, can you do Falling Down? I'm just going to say stay tuned. Ryan Adkins says, I always thought Back to the Future Part 3 was the weakest. I'll watch Part 3 all day now. So yeah, I agree. I'm embarrassed to admit it, but it took me a while to get into Part 3. It's still a great movie, but I don't know, it's just kind of missing something that Part 1 and Part 2 have, but still a great movie. All three of them are great. Did you watch wrestling in the 80s? I did watch wrestling in the 80s. And I used to also rent, they used to have at the video store, like, the compilations of all the WWF wrestling. And I remember watching one of those and coming out to my parents telling them, oh, the guy was bleeding. And then my parents telling me it was fake. And I was really upset when they told me it was fake. I remember yelling at my parents. I was probably like 7 years old. And I was yelling at them. Did you ever own a Vespa? No, I wish I did. Vespas are cool, but never had one. Do you own any Herman action figures? Where's he at? So here's this guy, and then you can't see him, but up there are the two dolls. I can bring this one down, and the talking doll and Cherry, and then up there are some of the still sealed Pee-wee's Playhouse figures, Cherry and Magic Screen and Reba, and my son has the play set, the Pee-wee's Playhouse set that we got him years ago for Christmas, and I'm just waiting for him to not want it anymore so I can have it. All the cool girls had Vespas. What about doing Chips locations? Yep, something I am thinking about doing. Macho Man Randy Savage was my favorite wrestler. Yeah, Macho Man was great. I liked all the, all the all the wrestlers that everybody liked back then. Macho Man and Hulk Hogan and Junkyard Dog and Andre the Giant. Top 5 Nintendo games. I don't know. Um, like as an adult, I really like playing. I really still like just playing like Super Mario Brothers. Such a great game. Played Metroid a lot. Played TNC a lot. Um, Contra, dudes. Double Dragon. Oh, Ghost and Goblins. Love that game. But I couldn't tell you a top 5, but those are all games that I really liked. Um, just so you guys know, I'm going to wrap up the live chat in maybe about 5 minutes. Yes, Art, you're right. The Honda Elite was the proper scooter to have in the 80s. Yeah, I guess I should take that back when I said I wish I had a Vespa. No, I wish I had a Honda Elite. I still look at them every once in a while. I go on Craigslist and look at the Honda Elites, and you can find them for relatively affordable prices. Mark says, weird fact, for some reason, Heather O'Rourke from Poltergeist was in my 1984 yearbook with a classmate in a photo. Maybe they just met Heather O'Rourke and then wanted to add that to their yearbook. Mark T just got here late. Did you tell the story? Did you tell the story on how you got the Goonies photo signed? I did not tell the story on how I got the Goonies photo signed. It was actually just at a convention, at a Hollywood convention. It was 2 separate occurrences. The first one was Corey Feldman. No, I take that back. I'm sorry. The first one was Chunk, Jeff Cohen, and he was extremely nice. I was there with a friend of mine, a female friend, and he was extremely nice to us. Gave me that photo for free, autographed it for free. He was charging for photos, but and for autographs. Signed it, gave it to me for free, and then asked if I wanted to take a picture with him for free. Took a picture with him, and then took a picture with my friend. And when he took a picture with her, he ended up asking her out on a date, and I guess that's why he was being so nice and giving us the giving me a free photo, a free autograph. But I don't care. So she ended up going out with him, and I think she went on a few dates with him. She dated him for a little while. So that was how I got the photo and the first autograph. And then the second one on there was Corey Feldman, and same thing at a convention. Went up, shook his hand, talked to him. He was charging for autographs, I think like $10, and I'm not really an autograph person, but I thought it would be cool to try and get everybody's signature on that picture. So I paid him for the autograph, and then I asked him if he would mind writing on there. If he would mind writing on there, come over here and give me a big wet lickety kiss. And he was like, "Oh, I don't feel comfortable writing that to a man." And I was like, "But you said it to a man in the movie." And then he started telling the story about how he came up with that line and how that's everybody's favorite line. And so he did end up signing that for me. And so yeah, that's the story of the Goonies photo. Oh, someone asked, "Have you ever met Corey Feldman?" So there you go. Super Cool Guy says, waiting for Feldman's new album to drop soon. Joe says, I met both Corys at San Diego Comic Con in 2005. That's so awesome. Wish I could have met Corey Haim. I just listened to his song with Snoop Dogg for the first time the other day. Corey Feldman, he has a song with Snoop Dogg. Hmm. Yeah, Mark T. Yes, that's the story of the. Mark T says thank you for the Corey Feldman or the Goonies story. So yeah, that's it. Nothing special, but kind of funny. On both of them had a little something extra to them. I don't want to end this chat just because I see so many of you guys are just chatting with each other about 80s stuff, about 80s wrestling and stuff. I like being able to bring you guys together. These chats have been fun, so I'm going to do this more often. When I first started doing YouTube, I didn't really plan on doing live streams, but yeah, no, it just didn't seem like my kind of thing. But it's been a lot of fun, so I think I'm going to do this more often. Hopefully, maybe at least once a month. Who else misses Federated commercials? I do, definitely. Sometimes you can find a lot of them on YouTube, and I watch them every once in a while. Remember Shadow Stevens? Yep, Shadow Stevens, Federated commercials. The 80s movie Bad Boys, yep, it's a good one. Oh, wow. Tommy Sands just reminded me of something. Remember magic Coke cans with prizes? Completely forgot about that until you said it. Super Cool Guy says, thanks for hosting Eddie's Live. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Peace out from Sweden. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you do more. I need more live streams. Okay, you got it. I said I think at least once a month I'll do it, just for fun. I still haven't really figured out what's a good time of day to do the live streams. I was trying to figure out when it would be good for everybody. People in different time zones, and it just doesn't seem to work out. Any time I do it is going to not be good for somebody. All right. Well, I think I caught up on everybody's questions and comments. I know I missed some. They were coming in so fast, so I know I missed some, but I think I caught most of them. So thank you guys so much for being here. What's your favorite 80s crime movie? Yeah, I got to think about that one. I'll try and answer that on the next. Like, nothing's popping into mind, so I got to think about it. I know I already mentioned it. If you guys haven't seen it, my La Bamba filming locations video just dropped yesterday. It's up on the channel right now. Go check it out. If you haven't seen it, I hope to have, if I'm lucky, I hope to have 2 new videos up next week. One is a filming location that is completely different from La Bamba, like on the total other end of the 80s. I'm actually really curious to see how you guys are going to react to the next filming location video. It's different. And then hopefully a 3rd filming location video will be up at the end of the month if I'm able to get it done in time. Like Father, Like Son, another good comedy. Yeah, my son and I both love all of those switching, the switching places movies. Just actually the other night we were in the car about to go somewhere, and I went and touched the radio, and then my son touched my hand and said, you know, now our souls are gonna switch, because I let him watch all of those movies. I'm here now. 21 says, love the La Bamba video. Thank you so much. Joe says, this was fun. Catch you later at the Malibu Grand Prix. I wish, but we can go to Speed Zone. Not really the same, but. Have you done American Me? Not yet, but soon. Steve-O asks, how old are you? I am 41. Joe says, so cool that you're getting your son into the 80s vibe. Yeah, I didn't mean to. When I say I didn't mean to, I didn't want to force it on him. But he's been around it since he was born. So, luckily he's into it, at least for now. I can't control what's going to happen in the next few years. But as of right now, like music, movies, toys, everything, he's all about 80s. So I'm proud. Okay, that's it. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. BM says, I know it's not 80s, but I would love to see you do filming locations for Falling Down. I've said this before, just for some of you that don't know, it says in my channel description that my channel celebrates 80s and 90s. I know the name is 80s Life, but 80s and 90s. So I do filming locations for 90s movies. I talk about 90s. Falling Down is definitely on the list. Stay tuned. So you will see it. Some people have asked to see filming locations for movies from the 2000s and like a lot newer movies. There are some that I would like to do, but I won't do anything out of the 90s. But someone gave me the idea of later on down the line doing another channel where I do newer movies. And I probably will do that down the line. This was awesome, Kurt. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Frank. Steve-O 41 also. Awesome. Super cool guy. Peace. Thank you for being here. Thanks, Kurt. This was cool. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Valley Girl, if you're asking if I'll do a video, it's on my channel. I did it a while back. Okay, I'm signing off. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for the donations, for the super chats. You guys are great. Thank you for all the support. Jeff Steiner says, this was so fun. Thank you, Jeff Steiner. Thank you for all the support. Mike Smith says, hi, Kurt. Love the Valley series. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Steve Parker says, sorry, new subscriber. Don't be sorry. Not at all. Was just explaining stuff because I know people miss a lot of things. Thank you for being a subscriber. I appreciate you. I appreciate you all. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you all soon.